All right, everybody, welcome aboard. This is the fourth and final video in our Breeders' Cup installment, or maybe this is just the one you skipped to start with because it's the biggie. This is the Breeders' Cup Classic, and I'm excited to talk about it. Of course, I'm your host, Scott Steen. I'm the lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com. And if you know me, you know I know very little about horse racing. So why am I doing a video? Well, because I'm joined by one of the true experts in the field. If you've ever checked out the Racing Dudes, which number one, you should if you haven't done it, it is the preeminent site. I'll say that. I'll say the preeminent site, all things horse racing. And we have one of the actual Racing Dudes himself right here joining me. It is Aaron Halterman. Aaron, happy Monday of Breeders' Cup week. I know you're excited for this week, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the best weeks of the year for us. It's the biggest event we do, believe it or not. I mean, the Kentucky Derby is the most famous, but as far as the quality of horses and race after race coming at you, like the Breeders' Cup, it's great. Nothing like it. Like I said, it's kind of like a Christmas Eve for us.
It'd be like if they played all the bowl games on somehow did it on one day, and you lined it up. You started with like the Tax Slayer Bowl, and you went all the way through the national championship game. I get it, and as when we talked about this on one of the videos, as somebody that bets a lot of different sports, sometimes the Breeders' Cup sneaks up on us because we're looking at football, we're looking at the World Series, we're looking at basketball, but all of a sudden it's the Breeders' Cup. Great opportunities to make money, and I know I'm assuming I know nothing about horse racing, but I'm assuming this is the race that gets the most views, that gets the most the most generates the most buzz. Am I right?
Yep, absolutely. It's believe it or not, this is the richest race in North America each year. So a lot of people that are novices or maybe just casual followers of the racing world, they don't really understand that. I mean, the Breeders' Cup Classic is worth 3 times what the Kentucky Derby is worth, and that's pretty incredible when you think of it. So yeah, this is the main event. This is the best horses in our country, kind of lining up here. 3-year-olds that have been running in the Kentucky Derby, getting ready to try to beat older horses. 4 or 5-year-olds in here. So it really is like kind of the Super Bowl of our sport.
That's very cool. And before we get rolling, I would be remiss if I didn't plug one of the best guides around. It is the Racing Dudes Breeders' Cup 2022 guide, and you guys have that available. Tell everybody how to get it. I know I'm going to put a link in the description, but also if you want to go over to the website, how do you get it over there, bud?
Yeah, you can go to the website and you go to the handicapping products page, and it's right there for you. Like I said, you can click that link in the description as well. It'll take you right to it, save you a little bit of time. Yeah, the Breeders' Cup Wagering Guide, one of the biggest guides we do all year long. Going to have full write-ups for all 14 Breeders' Cup races. That's right. There's 14 of them on Friday and Saturday. We'll have write-ups for all of those with picks and plays on them. We also have a live bankroll money management article, where we tell you exactly the amounts we're going to play and who to play for each race. So, if you kind of are newer to the game, you're not really sure what to do, that really lays it out for you. So there isn't a lot of guesswork. You just kind of like, okay, yeah, this is what they're going to do every race. We've got that as well. And, we've got top picks for all the races, top fours for all of the people at racingdudes.com that contribute to the website. So it is chock full of information, probably going to be 30, 35 pages once we get it all finished up.
All right, very good. Once again, that is racingdudes.com with a D. Do not put racing nudes in. That brings you to a very different site, and the tips there are not nearly as helpful. I'm not going to tell you how I know that, but you're going to have to trust me on this one. So let's start with the basics. How long is this race? It's on dirt, right? It's not a turf race, anything like that, and it's pure dirt. It's not the hybrid kind of dirt thing that they run on.
That's right. Yeah, pure dirt track, and it's the same distance as the Kentucky Derby. So the Kentucky Derby is 1.25 miles. So is the Breeders' Cup Classic. The 1.25 mile distance on the dirt is kind of our, that's the way to determine a champion in this country, so to speak. You can run them at all different distances, but this 1.25 miles on the dirt, that's where championships are kind of won. You see it with the Kentucky Derby, and you're going to see it with the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yeah, I know on the one of the videos we talked about the Belmont being 1.5 miles, and usually that last quarter mile for me is just spent at me yelling at the TV going, why isn't this over already? Because my horse is fading. So yeah, that's it. 1.25 miles, great distance. And again, a casual fan like me who comes out of the woodwork to bet on the Triple Crown races a little bit. Even I recognize some of the horses on there. You've got I wanted to say it's not Good Time Charlie, Hot Rod Charlie.
Right.
and a couple other horses. So let's talk about who you like here, how you see it shaking out, at least the beginning part, and where we might have known these horses from, how they did in the various big races that they've run.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you want to start with probably the most known horse to the general public, it's got to be the number 8 Rich Strike, who won the Kentucky Derby this year at 60-1. One of the biggest upsets ever in that historic race. He's in this one, and he's 20-1 on the morning line. He's the number 8 horse. So if you want to go with him again, you know, you're more than happy to do it. 20-1 is the price that you probably are going to want on him. But let's fast forward to a couple of the main contenders in here. When you look at this race, it starts and stops with the number 4 Flightline. This could be a once in a lifetime type of horse. He has been off the charts in his races this season, including last time out where he earned a Beyer speed figure. It's the fastest we've seen in 35 years of keeping those numbers. Absolutely incredible track, a stakes record performance at Del Mar. He won by almost 20 lengths, which reminds you of Secretariat back in the 70s when he won the Belmont by a similar margin. The number 4 Flightline is the horse that you just can't look away from in this race. That's why he's the 3-5 favorite, because he's just that good. This is a better field this time that he's got to face, but he has been special coming into this. He should be towards the front, and he should be galloping towards home when they turn that corner, because he certainly has the speed to get in early position, but the stamina to keep running when the real running begins.
Okay, now you've opened the can of worms, so I'm going to reach in there and I'm going to grab a couple of the slimy guys. Tell us about the Beyer speed figure, what it means, because I know a lot of us, myself included, we like to open up that racing form. We understand about, if we're lucky, about half to 2/3 of what we're seeing right there. I know speed figures is one of those things. Tell us how that works out, what his number was, and what we should be looking for.
Yeah, so the Beyer speed figures are a way to measure a horse's performance. So every horse gets a speed figure assigned to him or her once the race is over. Now you might say, well, why would they do that? Well, if a horse runs 2 minutes at, say, Santa Anita out in California, and then he runs 2 minutes at a track like Aqueduct up in upstate New York, those times are very different based on the track conditions of that day. In New York, there's a lot of weather, so the track will play slower. Where you go to Santa Anita, it hasn't rained in a year, and the track is very fast. So to kind of equal those two things and to kind of take away the track variance, so to speak, between how tracks play as far as being fast or slow, you kind of assign speed figures to these horses, based on several factors, and the expert speed figures will assign those numbers. So yeah, when it comes to Flightline, he's earned a speed figure that has been incredible, or just incredible, like way ahead of everybody else. So for example, his last race, he earned a 126 Beyer speed figure, which is,
even I know that's high.
You're like, how? I've never seen anything like this.
Right.
Now, you take the next best horse as far as the speed figure goes. And again, it's just one metric, but it is an important one. Epicenter, the 6 horse, he earned a 112 Beyer last time out for his win in the Travers Stakes. You know enough to know as well. That's exceptional. That's fantastic. He's not even in the same category as the number 4 Flightline. So if he can run that race again, it's going to be awfully tough to beat him.
It's kind of like if you're a baseball handicapper, where you look at things like XFIP or WOBA, where you're taking out the park advantage. You're trying to basically take away all the exterior factors and just narrow it down to that one thing, and that's how fast that horse runs. So yeah, it's very similar to the way they handicap other sports. So Aaron, what happened to Flightline in the Triple Crown? Like the year he was eligible, what happened to him?
Well, unfortunately, he got a late start. So the Triple Crown horses, you can only run when you're 3 years old. His 3-year-old season started late, and he missed all of those because he wasn't quite healthy. He's just a horse they never could get healthy. They finally started him. He won by it was like 15 lengths, just a dominant maiden special weight win in his debut race. And then he got on the shelf again, and we didn't see him for another 4 or 5 months. And so that's why a lot of people that just kind of watch the Triple Crown, or maybe the couple over the big races, they may not know who Flightline is, because he's missed a lot of big time races with injuries and such. So this year they started him in May. He had a start, then they ran him again in August. And since that August race, he's said to be doing better than he's ever been doing. So I think he's just a horse that had a lot of physical issues. They finally have gotten ironed out. And now we're kind of seeing really what he's made of.
Well, you're really making me rethink my Hot Rod Charlie Rich Strike Exacta. I have to tell you, I've really got food for thought going on here. So
I wouldn't do that.
So we talked about how it's going to shake out up until about the home stretch. We've got Flightline in the lead at that point. He's coming out. He's got it's a small field for starters. It's only 8 horses. He's coming right out of the middle of that. That should be a pretty good spot to come out of, I assume, without getting in too much trouble. Do you see him closing it out?
Yeah, I really think as far as trips go, it looks like everybody's going to have a pretty normal trip. When you have 8 horses in a race, it's hard to really get in traffic. So
you don't have to get that second trailer out and all that.
No, there's no plowing through horses. Everybody kind of runs, 2 by 2. That's oversimplifying it, but that's kind of how it is. I mean, you're not going to see a lot of trouble. And with Flightline, as long as he breaks from the gate, should be a perfect trip. The number 2 Life is Good should go out to the front. He should be the horse that takes the lead early, and then Flightline will just sit right off of him, kind of biding his time and waiting for the perfect moment to kind of, try to overtake him and kick on with it.
A stalking horse, if you will.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, very good. So it's a long day. It's the 8th race, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I've blown all my money. I've got $20 tucked in my shoe because my mom always said keep a 20 in case I ran into trouble and needed to get home. But I'm not going to have any trouble getting home. I want to blow that $20 on this race. I want to make a good investment. Okay, you've talked me out of my 5/8 Exacta. Where do I put that last $20?
Well, first of all, if you play a 5/8 Exacta, you only have to play it for like $2 to make $300 or $400. So that's the good news. If you want to try that, if you're down to $2, maybe do that. But
and if you have a lighter, you could just set it on fire, which might be more entertaining.
Well, you could do that as well, especially if it gets cold. But I think it's going to be warm at Keeneland. No, okay. Anyway, all right, $20. I'm going to go. Let's play a straight $20 trifecta in this race. I don't usually do this, but when you have a heavy favorite that you think is going to romp, you got 2 options: play against him or play a try or an Exacta and play it straight for a big dollar amount. I don't want to play against Flightline. I think he's going to be an easy winner. So I'll put the number 4 Flightline on top. I'll put number 6 Epicenter in second. This is a horse that's been super consistent all year long, has won 2 big races in a row. I think he'll be really, a tough horse to beat for second. And I'll make you happy. In third, I want Hot Rod Charlie at 15-1. There you go. This horse is the picture of consistency. Now, does he consistently win? No. But does he consistently get second and third in races? Absolutely. I think he can do it here at a big price. So give me a 4-6-5 straight trifecta in this race to try to maximize that value on the favorite.
Okay. Very good. Hey, you've got a dog that barks annoyingly too. Very good.
It's a good time for a FedEx delivery.
That's fantastic. Well, mine gets excited anytime like any animal just even farts outside the window. He's going crazy. So could you play? You said you're talking about the 4 and the 6, right?
Yep.
Could you play 4-6 all? That would give you what, 6 more? So for $12, you could play that.
If you want to play a little bit lower denomination, like I said, if you do a $2 trifecta and it costs you 12, you could do that. I think the key is going to be that third spot. A lot of times when you see, horses that are heavily hyped, a couple of them show up and then the others really don't. And then you get that long price. So if you wanted to get Rich Strike involved in third, Hot Rod Charlie, Happy Saver, I wouldn't hate it. I think one of those 3 will probably get up to that third spot and really kind of juice up the trifecta payouts. I chose Hot Rod Charlie, but Happy Saver's another one, pretty consistent, likes to hit the board a lot. And look, Rich Strike was kind of a flukish Kentucky Derby winner. To be honest, he hasn't ran that poorly after that race. He hasn't won, but he's still kind of been in contention for a couple of other races.
All right, so here's what I'm doing. I'm going to play the 4-6-5. I'm going to play the $10 trifecta box.
Okay.
Just $10 trifecta straight. And then I'll go 4-6 the rest with my other $10.
I like it. I think it's a good plan.
There you go. All right. So guys, make sure that you tune into the race to see how badly in flames I go down there. So
I hope you don't, because then I do.
Okay. All right. So make sure you check it out to see how much money Aaron and I just walk away with in that race.
Right.
Aaron Halterman, I appreciate you being here. Tell us one more time where you can get that guide from the Racing Dudes.
Yeah, you can get it at racingdudes.com on that handicapping products page if you want to check out the website. And again, you can click the link below. I think you said you're going to put it in the description, and it'll take you right to it as well. So 2 easy ways to do it. And yeah, hopefully you can get your hands on it and we can have some success on the weekend.
There you go. This is Friday and Saturday. Make sure you check it out. It's Friday night. You know, there's nothing going on. You got no NFL. You got some second tier college games. What time does it start? Is that like an afternoon card? Or is it an evening card?
Yeah, Friday's races, the Breeders' Cup races will start around, I think it's 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Perfect.
Yes. Perfect. Saturday, unfortunately, we're going to be running against Tennessee and Georgia, so that's not ideal. But you can do 2 things at once, right?
What are you going to do? Absolutely. Come on. Nobody watching us has less than 2 TV screens.
Right.
Come on now. It's 2022, baby. Yeah. All right, Aaron, I've had a blast not just doing this one, but doing all the other ones as well. I appreciate you joining us today. I love it when we do them on Winners and Whiners because people like looking for content and they're like, wait a minute, horse racing.
Yeah.
And they look at it and they find out like, well, this guy doesn't know anything. Oh, but this guy knows stuff. Okay, perfect. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I will be watching. You've as often happens. Now I'm excited about it. I get a little bit of information. I'm ready to go cash those tickets, man. So
yeah, we've lured you in.
I absolutely could even be a little day drinking on Friday, a little beer in the afternoon after my work is done. I'm excited. So thanks for joining us, man. I hope all of your tickets hit this weekend. If you want to find out about all 14 races, check out the Racing Dudes. Check out their betting guide. You won't find a better one anywhere. Aaron Halterman, good luck, and thanks for being here, man.